Place channel here on the YouTube. This video is going to be an explanation of how my 1968 Seeburg Jukebox works that I converted to digital. This is going to be, if you watch my arcade bedroom tour, arcade basement tour video, you're going to see that in the video I show you my 1968 Seeburg Jukebox that I converted to digital. This is going to give you an overview of how basically how the jukebox works and how I build it, and explain how it came to be. Basically, about 4 years ago, I was looking for a basically looking for a jukebox that I could put in my game room. I specifically wanted to get a Seeburg Jukebox because I always liked the look that the Seeburg Jukebox had with the glasses and the dancing girls and everything else that the Seeburg Jukebox had, and I finally was able to find one. The jukebox that I found, I basically paid, I just got very lucky, I paid about $200 for it. I bought it from a vending company here in Maryland. They had this jukebox basically stored in a warehouse, and basically I took it in my workshop, basically disassembled the entire jukebox and built what you see in front of you here today. This whole project to build this jukebox, it's about a 2-month project that I basically had. What I had when I got the jukebox was I basically had to gut everything out of the jukebox. I had to take the record player out. I had to take all the old speakers out, the amplifiers, everything that basically made the jukebox work. And what I ended up doing was I basically sold those on eBay to basically fund the project to build the jukebox that you see here today. And the one thing about this jukebox that I had to keep in mind is this jukebox, when I bought it, it's very heavy. This jukebox weighs probably in the neighborhood of 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and taking this jukebox down the stairs into my basement wasn't going to be an option for me. It was just too big, just too heavy, just too big. So basically what ended up happening was I basically completely disassembled the jukebox into pieces. Basically, as I did each piece, I basically, if you notice in the jukebox, there's bolts and everything that hold everything together. The jukebox, total number of pieces in the jukebox, there's about 50 pieces that come apart in this jukebox that I had to basically take apart and then take down the stairs and then reassemble in the basement. As I took the jukebox apart, removed the parts, painted them and everything, then I numbered them, and then I basically brought them down into the game room piece by piece, and then I assembled what I have today. I'm going to start with a basic overview just to show you how this, what comprises this jukebox and what makes it so special. If you'll notice in the top of the jukebox on here, there's a big monitor. It's about a 35-inch monitor. What this monitor allows me to do is when I'm in my game room and we're playing arcade games, basically we can see this monitor anywhere in the game room. I'm going to actually show you a video playing later on, but what way it works is when you want to select a song, if you look on the jukebox, there's a mouse right here. When I want to select a song, I'm going to show you how this works. Basically, if you're looking at the screen that I have in front of you, okay, basically when you want to select a song, you just use the mouse right here that I have down here. You use the mouse. And what you have on here is, if you go to the top of the jukebox, you're going to see there's a thing here for Browse by Name. Okay? And what you do then is when you hit Browse by Name, then you have a list of names that comes up. And when you want to navigate the names, there's a little thumb bar on the side here where my mouse is. You basically move this thumb bar up and down like I'm showing here, and that goes to a letter. And what that is when you want to find a group or something, you can basically just go down to the letter that you need to run. Like if you want to find Motley Crue, then you have your Motley Crue, Moving Pictures, Mummy Calls, Naked Eyes, all the different groups that are in here. The jukebox that I currently have right now holds close to 2,000 songs right now in my library that I currently have. And then basically that's starting from the top and working its way down. So this is the monitor portion right here. Okay? Then when you come down to the next part of the jukebox, you're going to see that basically the jukebox used to have speaker grills and things behind it. I basically don't use the speaker grills anymore because I have a standalone arcade system. Standalone music system speakers. So what I did is I basically used pieces of aluminum and I put them behind these grills, and then all the grills and everything were painted, and then this was basically backlit with fluorescent bulbs from behind. Now you're also going to notice that on this jukebox here, I also installed a set of coin mechs. This jukebox is basically set up. I can either run it on free play. I have a free play button on here, or I can actually have coins. The machine will actually take coins. And what it does is, in the back of the jukebox, I have an X-Arcade arcade kit adapter. If you see my Build Your Own Arcade Kit, it's the same adapter that's in that kit. And the only difference is, instead of having joysticks plugging into it, it has the coin mechs that actually plug into it on the back of the jukebox that go into that box. Okay? And I'm going to show. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like from behind so you can see that too. Now, if you'll notice behind the jukebox here, This is that mech that I was telling you about. That coin mech that I was telling you about. There's a coin mech right down in here. That's the actual coin mech that I was telling you about. That actually converts the signals. That's what does for the coins. Then I have backlights behind here. And you're also going to notice behind here that I also have a framework back here that basically goes up here. And this holds the monitor. And this is basically a framework. So as you can see, I just used the outer shell of the jukebox to basically build the jukebox. Now I'm also going to notice something else too. You're going to notice on the bottom of in addition to that, you're going to notice that I kept the original coin mech. Now this doesn't actually function right now, but I still have it because I think it looks really, really cool. And it also has a Seeburg name. So I basically kept the old coin mechs, even though I have the new ones installed. On the bottom of the jukebox, you're also going to notice that there's a series of music notes. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that all the music notes that I'm showing you, all the music notes that you currently see in here, these are all songs that are currently in the jukebox right now that are here. I don't use the actual buttons anymore right now to select the songs. There is a converter you can get that will allow you to actually use these buttons through micro switches that will convert these into signals that the computer can use that will match the notes. I don't actually have that set up right now because I just find that using the mouse makes it a lot easier for me. So that's basically how I have this set up. And you're going to notice on here that all the different music notes and things that they have right here. Now everything behind this, like where the glass and everything was, this was all completely refurbished and painted in my shop. This entire jukebox, all the paint and everything you see in front, this was all repainted in my workshop. To do the actual painting of all the parts, that was almost a 2-week process to do all the painting of the parts because there were a lot of parts. And the other thing too is some of the parts were different colors, which required me to do different spraying operations depending on what I was painting. The total actual time too, if you notice too on here, I want to show you this too. If you notice on here too that all the different pieces of finishing metals and everything, these all had to be redone as well. When I bought the jukebox, one of the hardest things I had to do was on the bottom of the jukebox where the doors are on the bottom. I'm going to show you. On the actual bottom where the doors are down here, what had happened was these doors that are here. Let me show you here and. Yeah, what had happened was the actual doors that are on the bottom of the jukebox, these doors right here, I'm going to show you it right down here. What had happened was somebody apparently on the truck had dropped this jukebox out of a truck and it basically had bent the entire frame of the jukebox. That's probably why the jukebox hadn't been used because it didn't work. So what I had to do was I basically had to go ahead and I had to straighten out this entire frame, get everything straightened up and lined up properly so that everything would fit together. And that basically is what you see what I have here. If you want to know what basically powers a jukebox, in the bottom of the jukebox, I'm going to show you that next. Okay, now you're going to see on the bottom of the jukebox I have doors that open up in the bottom here. Okay? And basically what I have in the bottom of the jukebox is there's two things that are inside the bottom of the jukebox. I have a custom-built computer which is right here. This is running Windows XP, and then it runs a thing called the PC Jukebox. This is what holds all the songs. Okay, this is where all the songs and everything originate. Then right next to it, I have an amplifier. This amplifier that's in here right now, currently it's a 600-watt Kenwood amplifier, and these two things combined, they put out plenty of power, so I'm able to handle everything just fine. You're going to also notice that in addition to that, on the inside, there's all the inside and the bottom and everything. All of this had to be finished, and you'll notice that the doors and everything, those all had to be painted, and they had to be refurbished as well. Okay, so that covers the more or less what the jukebox does. I'm going to basically show you now. I'm going to show you the operation of it, and then these doors close. Okay, when you want to start a song, what you do is you actually have this machine actually takes coins. I'm going to put a coin in to show you how it works. Okay, on the top of the screen, you're going to see a thing right here that says credits. When you want to coin the jukebox up, what you do is you just use the actual coin mix that I installed, and I'm going to show you how that works. This is one of the actual coin mix. What you do is you put a song in here, put your coin in, and then that gives you a credit up here. And then basically you just pick the song that you want. When you find the song that you want, okay, when you find the song you want, well, I'll find a song here for us to play. Okay, what we'll do is we'll play the Rolling Stones. Now, if you're going to notice on the screen here, when it brings up the Rolling Stones, okay, any of the groups that are in here, there's basically records that come with this. When you click on these different records, you have a bunch of different songs that come up pertaining to the record. Everything inside my jukebox is organized based on categories. When you use the PC Jukebox software that comes along with that you install on the computer, it's called the PC Jukebox. You're going to have an option on there where you can set your names. Do you want to organize by song names? Do you want to organize by folders? There's a number of options that the PC Jukebox will allow you to do when you set this up. Okay, I'm going to basically I can play a clip for about 10 seconds. If I play it any longer than that, I run the risk of having my video pulled because it would be for the audio. So I'm just going to give you a 10-second clip, and I'm going to show how I power the jukebox off. Okay. When you want to add a song to it, what you do is you find the song that you want to play. We'll use Paint It Black to show you. Basically, you can either add the entire album to the queue. If you have enough coins in, you can add the entire album to the queue. If you just want to add one song, you just say add song to queue, and that will start playing the song. And then the sound basically comes out of these two speakers I have here. I have one here, one speaker here, then I have one speaker over here. Okay? When I want to turn the jukebox off, there's a button right here that says power off. And that basically allows me to power the jukebox off when I'm done playing. And you're going to notice on my desktop here that basically all my arcade machines and everything that I have, they're basically running on a Windows XP 32 format. I don't need anything more sophisticated for my jukeboxes and my games because I don't run anything that requires anything with more power than what I already have. So pretty much all my arcade machines and everything, I use Windows XP 32, but because I find that it works pretty well for what I have. Now, if you have more sophisticated needs and things, and you might need a higher operating system. But I've basically been using these ever since I set up my first arcade machine, and I've been pretty comfortable with the Windows XP 32 operating system. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I want to thank you, by the way, again for tuning into my video here on my 1968 Seeburg Jukebox. I can advise if you want to try to set up a jukebox of your own, there's a number of places. You can go to eBay and you can go to Craigslist. If you find a jukebox that you like that's working, even if it's not working, if you have a set of tools and things, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that will basically tell you how to get a jukebox working that's not working, such as what sort of problems a jukebox has and how to diagnose and fix them. A jukebox is a great thing to have in your game room if you have the means to get one working. I decided to go with a digital jukebox just because of the fact that I wanted to be able to play some of the new songs. I wanted to be able to play a lot of the newer songs and stuff and everything, and I wanted to have a much larger range of songs. That's one of the reasons why I went with a digital jukebox. If you get a chance, definitely check out some of the other jukebox videos on YouTube. There's a lot of really neat jukeboxes that I've used that kind of inspired me to build my own. I want to thank you again, by the way, for tuning into the Kurt Splits channel here on the YouTube, and I'm going to have a lot of other videos coming to you real soon. Thanks for checking me out.